Hello guys and welcome to a new week. Hope your trading has been amazing. Now we're in a new week, so what are we going to be looking out for on the Go chart in this new week? So guys, this last week, this month has just been a boring one. I have not been able to take any single trade since the beginning of this month, the month of June. So let's see how this new week goes. Now I've seen one or two opportunities, right? So right here we had opportunities here to buy the market, but I didn't quite buy it because it didn't come down into this particular zone I was waiting for. So I left it, hoping that it would keep coming, it would drop down lower. But what happened? Price just pushed up from there and left the market alone. I didn't do nothing. Still, price now began to pull back again in this last week. Had one opportunity here to get in again, but didn't quite like it again. Wanted price to still drop lower, which price could most likely still drop lower, right? So let's just analyze the chart. Let's do the top-down analysis so we can see what we're looking out for. Now, some people are not patient enough just to wait for a perfect setup, right? People are always in a hurry to want to get another trade. And if you don't know how to be patient as a trader, then that means you're gambling. You're not a good trader. You need to learn how to wait for your perfect setups. Don't just jump in on a trade just because you see everybody's cashing out. You see people, you see you see pictures, you see what's it, you see so-called screenshots of different people online, and then you're like, oh, these guys have been cashing out and I've just been having a boring week. Don't look at what people are doing. Focus on what you're doing. Focus on your own trade setups, right? Just be patient, be calm. Wait for the price or wait for the charts to give you what it is you're looking for, and once you see that stuff you're looking for, you get in on the trade. That's how to become a very good trader, right? So in this new week, what are we going to be doing? Already I told you guys that price is going to be consolidating for some time. I told you guys that a few weeks ago. And so when you go to the monthly, you see the price has just been consolidating sideways and moving sideways, right? So that's why I've not been so keen on getting in on those setups that I saw, because I know that price might just be ranging for some time. All right. So looking at the monthly, we can clearly see what price is doing here. Last month was an indecision candle. Now in this current month that we're in the month of June, you can see price just immediately began to shoot up. Now initially I would have expected price to come down at least a little bit into 3219 level or 3220 level, right? But price didn't even do that, or even come down lower into 3123 level, right? But price didn't do that. Price just began to shoot up. So what do we think is happening? Gold might continue to push up, right? It might maintain this bullishness and even push higher. But another thing that could happen is that gold could actually push lower, right? Gold could actually push lower before it continues to push up. We might see it has not yet created a wick in this month, right? So it might actually come down lower to create that wick that I'm looking for. Now let's go to the weekly. Looking at the weekly charts, gold is, yes, overall bullish, but like I've been saying for some time, gold has significantly moved up this year already, and so it is very possible that we're just going to see gold moving sideways for quite some time. All right, is it possible that gold can create a new all-time high? Yes, definitely. Gold can move up to as high as 3700 or even 4000, right? Gold can move up to as high as 3700 or 4000, right? But currently gold is just consolidating and moving sideways. As you can see, we drew this box for you some time ago when we were doing the analysis. Gold is within this range, right? And it's actually a huge range, and so you could actually look for good opportunities within this box, right? So now guys, what are we going to be looking out for here now? We're still going to keep looking for our buys, right? We're going to keep looking for our buys, but we need to wait for price to come down to a very key level. Now if you saw this opportunity here last week, that was last 2 weeks, you could have gotten in on the buy here, which I didn't, because it just remained just like a few more pips for price to just come down low into this zone, and then I probably would have gotten in on the trade, but price didn't get into that zone, so I left it. And this last week that just closed, you could also have seen an opportunity for a buy too as well, but I didn't take it because I didn't think that the move up would be significant, right? So I didn't get in on those trades. So what am I going to be looking out for now in this new week? I'm going to be looking for price to come down lower. That's what I'm going to be looking for. I'm going to be waiting for price to come down lower. Now, could price just continue to push up from here? It's very possible, right? Price could just push up from here. The new week could just open and price could just push up from there. That's very possible. But I'm going to be waiting for price to come down lower. Now, into what zone would I be waiting for price to come down into? Now, I could also be looking for sales too as well, right? If price comes up to as high as 3,400 level, or 3,000, yeah, 3,400 level, I could be looking for buy sales from there, from this point, right? But then I could also be looking for buys when price comes down lower into 3290 level, right, into the zone, or even lower into the zone, even lower into 3201. Yes, okay, yes, I'm looking for price to come down into 3290 level. We could look for buys from there. We could also look for buys from this other level here, 3250, or even 3201 level, right? So these are the three levels one could look for buys from. This level over here, 3290, or 3250, or 3200 level, right? Those three levels are key levels that price could get down into, and once we start seeing good rejections from there, we could actually get in on the buy. Now let's go to the daily so we see things clearer. So like we said, we could actually get in on a sell on this trade, right? We could actually look for sells next week, right? We could wait for price to push up higher and then give us rejections and it might drop, but I won't be doing that because the market is generally bullish. So if it's generally bullish, I'm going to stay away from looking for sales because that's going to be very risky, right? The chances of me getting in on a losing trade will be high, so I'll focus on looking for buys. So where would I be buying from? I already said it. I'll be looking for buys from 3 to I should have marked those levels, so we'll see them here. Let's go back to the weekly. So we'll see where those levels are. Looking for one at this point. Right. Then we'll be looking for we could look for one at this other point as well. I'm going to remove the lines much later just for so we'll see what we're looking at when we go to a lower time frame, and then this other point, there's a line there already. Yes. So let me delete this. So let's get down to the lower time frame. Let's get down to the daily so we see this. So looking at the daily, these are the levels we're going to be looking for, right? We're going to be waiting for price to come down lower. Now, like I said, price could just push up from here next week. We could just see price pushing up from here. So if we see a good opportunity, right, for price to push up from here, we could actually get in on the buys from there too as well. But I don't think I'm going to be doing that, right? Price could actually just do this and then continue to move up. That's very possible, right? But I'd rather wait for price to come down lower, either into this level and then push up from there, or come down lower into this level or into this other level and then push up from there. So this looks better for me, right? This looks much better for me. So I'm going to be waiting for price to come down into this level, and then we could get in on buys from there. So let me just do this. So price could get into this level, and then we could see price pushing up from there, or price could get down into this other level, and then we could see price pushing up from there, right? So whichever one, we're just going to be looking for buys from those different levels. I think the daily is quite clear. It's quite clear, it looks good, and I like this level. Why? Because I like this because you can see it still lines up with this whole break of this trend line, right? And there's a key level over here. There's a key support over here, right? And also these are kind of like liquidities for price to grab, right? So gold could actually come down, grab all this liquidity over here, and once it grabs it, we can now start seeing a rejection upwards. If this doesn't happen, then the next area is that price could just, just continue and just push up from there. That could just happen, right? So we just need to keep a close eye on the charts and just see what gold is trying to do, and we're going to just follow it, right? We're just going to just keep a close eye on the charts and observe the charts. The most important thing is just be patient. Don't be in a hurry to take a trade. Don't be in a hurry to take a trade. Be patient. Wait for price to give you what it is that you're looking for. So this is the 4-hour. Still looking good, still looking good, still the same. So still very possible for price to push up from here, like I said, but price could also come down low. Now this, you can see this 4-hour bullish candle is giving an indication that price wants to actually start pushing up. So, but that doesn't mean that price is just going to push up. You just don't just get in if you just see a bullish, engulfing candle. No, that doesn't always work. So you need to know what you're doing, right? So let's just see if we miss this opportunity over here and price doesn't actually come down lower, then we just wait. We keep waiting. But if I see a good opportunity to get in once price opens, if I see a good opportunity, right, and price comes down and does something out, I could probably get in on the trade, but not certain yet. Just watching the charts to see what happens. Let's go to the 1 hour. All right, you need to shrink the charts to see it very well. Now, if you're going to be looking for sales, like I said earlier, you could look for your sales from this level, right? This level looks good. You could look for your sales from this level. So if price gets into this zone, you could sell from there. You could do that, but like I said, I'm not sure I'm going to be getting in on any sales at the moment. I'm not sure I'm going to be doing that because overall gold is very bullish, so I'm not sure I'm going to be doing that. So let's just watch. Like I said, also price could start rejecting from here, and if you look here, you can see some sort of a heads and shoulders here. So this makes sense. This makes sense. But that doesn't mean it will hold, right? So you just need to observe and watch it carefully. So if price comes down lower and starts to give us rejection, then we could actually get in on a trade from there, right? But left to me, I really would want price to drop lower into the zones that I spoke about earlier. I like price to come down lower, and once it takes out all this liquidity, then yeah, I'll be good. I'll be good. So let's go back to the daily. So that's it, guys. That's it. That's just what I'm looking for. Nothing much to see on this chart, so nothing much. I hope it's clear, guys. I hope it's clear. So it's as simple as this, and I think this level is just a perfect level to look for your buys. This level is just a perfect level, right? 3200 level. It's just a perfect level to look for your buys, honestly speaking. So I'm going to really be waiting to see how price forms, how gold moves. Yeah, so I'm just going to wait and just watch how gold moves. Let's see. Let's see how everything goes. So that's it, guys. So have a wonderful trading week. I do hope you have an amazing trading week. All right. So that's it for today. Bye, guys.